my name is KLA Record, and I'm the founder of KLA Records. KLA Records is an independently owned record label, and we were founded in April of 2020. Our location is Nashville, Tennessee, and the genre that we like to create is acoustic pop and country music. We cater to people that love to create and listen to acoustic music. Our goal is to bring back the simplicity of good music. We strive to create music using live and acoustic instruments as opposed to digital ones. The artists that we typically look for, my A&R team has decided that the most viable artists are the ones that have characteristics of Casey Musgraves. So ones that can play at least one instrument, they have tons of stage presence, and they have naturally good and appealing vocals. So how we find our artists is due to our location. We scope out songwriting circles and cafes to look for artists with characteristics as Casey Musgraves, as I mentioned in the last slide. And we only approach artists that have business cards. That way we can look at their potential audiences that they are growing with their Instagram, YouTube, and other social media platforms that they provide for us. So our goals and strategies for my company are, we would like to obviously transition from an independent label to a major label. And we strive to get half of our artists to the top 500 charts, because that is the big thing right now. That's what's very important to us. And we strive to get all of our artists' music videos to at least 1 million views each. And how we plan to do that is we plan to use tons and tons of digital promotion, and would like to use more radio interviews and have more contests, and use more hashtags for the videos to get them more popularity so that locals and globally people know who our artists are and who we're representing. So for our campaign, majority of our listeners are women ages between 16 to 24. So we're looking more at college students that use our music to study. We also like to market heavily on social media platforms such as Instagram and YouTube, because we do tons and tons of contests and giveaways to keep our audiences engaged. And for the release of our music, since our music is so cost efficient, our viewers and listeners expect new music at least every 6 months and a new social media post from our company personally at least once a day. So when it comes to analog scarcity, KLA Records still does produce with tons and tons of tangible items such as CDs and vinyls to keep that nostalgia still there and the old-fashioned feeling still alive. We love to use those items because the publishing companies are still in charge of how much those prices are. So we're never overpricing or underpricing for our items. We also promote heavily using terrestrial radio and live interviews. We also do radio charts. We look at the radio charts to see how popular our artists are. And the artists that we work with, they only get recorded in studios with engineers and other positions that have experience in this field. With digital abundance has affected KLA Records both positively and negatively. So the positive of it is that our music can travel so far around the world due to how many social media platforms there are. But the negative side effect of it is that there are so many social media platforms that are available to the public that everybody thinks that they are an artist, and we're basically competing with the public to get our artists to the top. So with awareness delivery, my clients are brought to the public eye by going on interviews and making plenty of radio appearances. We love to do streaming on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. That way our audience feels very engaged with our artists. For our product delivery, we are very big, as I mentioned before, on our tangible items such as vinyl and CDs. And we love to do streaming for music. We love to stream our music on things such as Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Music. That way everybody can get a taste of what KLA is going to be creating. The benefits of social media. So the social medias that we primarily focus on are Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And the benefits of these platforms is they all have a community tab. So I can post videos, I can post photos, I can post thoughts. That way all of our followers and people who are engaged in our company can see and comment back to me. The marketing strategies for our company using social media is we would offer free digital downloads, as mentioned right here, how every piece of merchandise comes with a free digital download. We also will update fans on limited time sales for the merchandise and albums. And we also will provide, contests again so that our fan base feels like they are getting something for following us. And it's just nice to give back to the people who are supporting you. So for our brick and mortar, I chose to primarily focus on concert merch stands because those are very accessible, and you know that people are going to be buying your stuff because they're obviously at your artist concerts. So they're going to go up to the stands and they're going to buy the albums and the t-shirts and any other things that you guys are offering. We also chose Target to be one of our primaries because Target does these things where they have limited time albums. So they have limited edition music. They also have little booklets in there, and I just feel like if you're looking for Target, you're looking for limited edition and special editions. So for our global distribution, we primarily focus on places such as Canada, the UK, and Australia. We use the Harry Fox Agency to ensure that we get all of our royalties and that our songwriters collect everything that they should be making. And we also use our third-party distributor as Dido Music because they distribute to all of the most popular streaming services and other things that these countries and territories have access to. So Australia, this is just a little bit about Australia. So we make sure that iHeartRadio is one of the top things that our music gets put onto because this is the most popular streaming service in Australia. Also, the biggest thing for if we were to spend the money and provide a tour for Australia, we would make sure to get our artists into festivals because that's the biggest thing there. When it comes to Canada, we would make sure to get onto terrestrial radio because we do have a 65% chance of being on the radio over there. And we would make sure to be on Spotify because the average Canadian generates around $59 in revenue from streaming on Spotify, and that's 232 streams for every dollar. This is just a terrestrial radio law in Canada that states that 35% of the music has to be Canadian. So anything that's considered Canadian is part of these laws. So we would have a 65% chance of being on the radio for international. For the UK, their streaming is 43% online. So we would make sure to get onto YouTube because that is their most popular streaming service over there. And for terrestrial radio, I would make sure that my artists are guaranteed a spot on BBC Radio 2 because that has an average of 14 million users weekly. So for the departments we have in-house, I would make sure that we have at least a PR person and a manager because I feel like that is definitely enough for our small independent label. So we would have the PR work with the independent retail, so the t-shirts and the tangible items such as the CDs and vinyl, and then promotion, so all of the social media, and then we'd have our managers guide the artists. For our outsourcing, we are going to have a finance manager. We would have somebody work with international, so the Harry Fox Agency. We would have a public management to make sure that our artists are doing exactly what they're supposed to be saying and doing. We would have production, so everything outside of independent retail, and then business affairs to make sure that we are following the law and our legal stuff is not illegal. In conclusion, KLA Records loves to create good music by using simple, acoustic, and live instruments. We also love to bring our artists back to their roots for where they first grew up and started creating music on their own. And we also love using digital and social media platforms to promote our artists and engage with our audiences. Overall, KLA is an independent label that strives to transition from independent to major label. And we hope to one day represent some of the world's largest and most successful artists. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.